Engaging celebrity interviews. Exciting updates from Christian filmmakers. Movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely. And so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Faith on Film. We've got a very special episode for you today. See, recently we had the opportunity to attend the ICVM Storytellers Conference. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, the ICVM Storytellers Conference is a conference where hundreds of media professionals, Christian media professionals specifically, from around the world come together for a time of fellowship, for a time of learning, for a time of sharing our own experiences or our own projects that we may have had over this past year. So that's always been a fun and exciting conference to attend. If you want to know more about it, just go to ICVM.com. That's ICVM.com. And by the way, ICVM stands for International Christian Visual Media. Now, the exciting part is that while we were there, Holly had a chance to interview several of the Christian media attendees that were there, people that have some very exciting projects that they were sharing with us, and now they're going to share with our viewers here on Faith on Film. So I think you're going to enjoy this episode with Holly McClure interviewing several of the Christian media professionals attending ICVM. Enjoy the show.
Okay, folks, we're at ICVM, and we've got a few stars to interview so you can hear all about their projects. And this is the star of the show and the movie, Disciples in the Moonlight. Now, we interviewed Brett about the movie, but who are you?
Yes, I played the role of Danelle, and Danelle was a very broken character. She really struggled with wanting to support her husband's faith in God, and how that ministry of smuggling Bibles really took him away from the home to the point where it was affecting their family dynamic. And so I had an issue with that. My character did. And then she goes through a pretty interesting faith journey.
Yes, she does.
That I can't tell you about. Go watch it.
It's an interesting movie. I mean, it's not your typical faith-based film. It really isn't. It's a very different journey and a very different story. I loved it. And it's got a twist at the end, which we won't tell you about. But tell them your name and what other projects have you worked on?
Yes, my name is Stephanie Parker, and I have done Lifemark as well, which is a film the Kendrick brothers and Kevin Peoples put together about adoption and the sanctity of life, and it's a really beautiful true story as well. I also did the film Divine Influencer, directed by the fabulous Sherry Rigby.
Oh, I love Sherry, yes, we love her.
And I play a woman that faced abuse and found solace and refuge at this shelter, where she was able to kind of turn her life around, and Lara Silva from The Chosen stars in that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have a few fun movies that are coming out soon, hopefully.
So why are you here at ICVM? What are you here to promote? Let's talk about that.
Oh, goodness. Well, I am not here to promote actually anything. What I'm here for is, I always feel like God puts me places for reasons that have nothing to do with film and acting.
Yes.
I often find that it's the one conversation that with that one person, or that one time of prayer that I was supposed to have with that one person that really is the reason, the why, you know? So whenever I come to something like this, of course, you know, I love acting and I want to be involved in stories that glorify the Lord and are redemptive in nature. But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm here, Lord, so who do you want me to talk to?
But I think that's what's so beautiful about ICVM and about this community, is that it's a networking community. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we all day, I mean, that's what I try to explain to people. I brought someone from Capernaum Studios to say, hey, I want you to see how it is and what goes on. And he goes, well, like, what do you do? And I go, okay, you can't explain it. You just show up, because it's constant people talking and networking and connecting and do. And of course, there's classes and things you can do. We just had an amazing session, a lunch session right now.
Yeah.
But it is fun, isn't it? How God connects you and networks you.
100%. And you're right in saying that also the encouragement that you get from ICVM and being able to hear the personal testimonies of struggle, of doubt, and yet how God took it and overcame and did immeasurably more than all they could have asked or imagined.
Yes.
Those are the stories that, especially in this industry where there's so many highs and lows, you need to fill your mind with so that you're focusing on what is pure and lovely and honorable and holy, right? So that's why I love it.
Okay, call us when you have your next project, okay? We want to interview you. Okay, Brett always gets the interviews, but we want to talk to the women too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. me. It was great.
I said, good to see you too.
You too.
Want a picture? Well, here's another testimony of a young man that he was shorter, I'm sure, when we first interviewed him several years ago, and he was excited in getting into the industry and acting. And Brandon, your journey has come so far now. What are you doing nowadays?
Yeah, I just finished directing my first feature film.
Directing?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the first project you were here? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, so that was a film called Playground Heroes, which is still in the works behind the
What
scenes.
was it called again?
Playground Heroes.
Playground Heroes.
Yes, and we might have found a producer, so we're working on that behind the scenes.
Okay.
And I just finished directing an entirely different project that we started earlier this year, and that's in post-production right now.
What's it called?
It's called City of Angels.
City of Angels. Did we see that at Content?
You saw the trailer for it at
Trailer,
Content.
because
Yes.
I remember seeing you in something. It was a trailer for it,
Yes,
right?
it was unreleased trailer that we just finished it that morning.
Okay.
And it was a last minute thing, and Tim was like, well, let's show it. And so it showed at lunch, and it was great. We got great reception.
And great reception. And so now, are you in pre-production on that, or is you getting funding? Where are you on that?
We're in post.
You're in post-production?
Yes.
So you've done it.
We shot it, we finished filming beginning of September.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is exciting. Now, where are you based out of?
I'm in Denver.
In Denver, okay. So you're looking, though, to go and move out and get more into acting, is that right?
Yes, so I started directing so that I could act in stuff because it's hard to get hired. And so my goal is to do more acting.
Yeah.
Which actually, I don't know if I ever told you, but you, last time we interviewed,
Yes.
I think you also brought me to Lure, and that ended up getting me my first lead in a movie.
Another Lure guy.
Yeah.
That's right, because I was like introducing Lure TV. They're mostly a male network, I think, and they have mostly, so it's very different what they do as well. And it's been fun. See, again, another thing, right? Where I introduced, hey, here's some guys, then you got on with them. That's what ICVM does. We
great.
connect and network, right? NRB, ICVM, but it's fun to do that and see it. And congratulations, I'm excited for you. Glad we got to reconnect with you. Again, Isaac, I want to get pictures of when we interviewed him first time, like 2 or 3 years ago, and let's just compare where he was.
My hair was like down here.
I know, and I know you're taller, and I mean, it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God. But this is exciting. Congratulations. God bless
thank
you and
you.
everything you're doing. I hope the directing goes on to the acting, and then we can
Yeah.
see you in more projects.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Where can people find you? Where can they find
Yeah.
the project?
So we're on, we have an IMDb for it. We also have a Instagram, City of Angels Film, and we hopefully will be releasing next year.
Okay, so they can find you at.
City of Angels Film on Instagram.
Very good. Thanks, Brandon, so much. Okay, with me is a new friend, and she's become a friend, Crystal.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you.
What's your last name?
Moliette, or Molière if you want to be fancy about it.
Molière, we'll be French, like foyer,
Yeah,
Molière.
that's right,
We'll just
that's
be French
right.
about it. Crystal. Okay, she's at ICVM and doing something very different, but
Yes.
something that we at Capernaum love. It's dear to our hearts.
Yes.
Tell us about your project.
Yeah, so our company is Presence Creative Arts. We're Canadian. We're based out of Toronto, Ontario, and
We forgive you.
oh, thank you. I know. I'm sorry every day. But God was really laying the story of David on our hearts, and so we have shot a film. It's in post-production. We're very close to picture lock,
Yes.
and right now the working title is The Shepherd and the Sound, and it's just if you think of David at the end of his life, and in Scripture it talks about how he died alone with his servant woman, and we kind of went, now why was that? And so we imagined that David's at the end of his life and he can't hear the sound, the voice of God any longer. And so now he's searching for the sound of God by remembering all the stories of his youth. And so that is the premise of our film. It's very contemplative. If you think Terrence Malick, art house film. So it's different within this sphere. But out of that, we said, God, we come from the theater world where we
Yes.
value this in-person
Yes,
experience.
yes.
And we said, God, what would it look like if we created something to accompany this film that makes sure we have this in-person real experience? So the project that we were talking to you about is called the Immersive Gallery Encounter, where we take the 8 themes that are that we journey in the film and we bring them into a gallery format. So it is something that you could come and you could put into your local art gallery or community space. That's our hope and our desire, is that it be made open to the public somehow, and that people would come and and journey these 8 stations, these 8 themes that come out of David's life as a way of examining their own life and hopefully encountering the sound, which is the Holy Spirit for themselves.
So it's like a live production at Capernaum, by the way.
Yeah.
At Capernaum Studios, we do 2 live events. We do a Crimson, which is an Easter one, and we do Independence Day. And in both of those, very different. Independence Day is patriotic. It's about the, Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Crimson's about that Jesus goes through the village where The Chosen was filmed in our studio. And then, of course, you go through where the curtain tears, and it's that whole journey. So it's a live experience. You walk through it.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how cool would it be to get this experience at
Oh my
Capernaum.
gosh.
Like, how would that be? It's so cool.
That would be amazing.
I love
because
that.
it's the best of all the worlds, right?
Yes,
It's film, it's contemplative, it's real, right? And you get to go on this journey.
Yes.
And that's exactly
And
what
who
it's
doesn't
about.
love David? Who doesn't love doing that? I
he's
forgot
such a hero.
in the Bible that he died alone.
Most people do, right?
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Did you remember that, folks? Do you remember that? I forgot that.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like we so focus on David's accomplishments that we forget to look at all the pieces of his life where things fell apart.
Wow.
Right?
Yes,
and when you really look at David's whole lifespan, yes, he did amazing things. Yes, he was a man after God's own heart. But part of the reason why he was a man after God's own heart is because he kept going back to God every time things fell apart. When he sinned and he repented and he reaped the consequences of his actions, like he lived out that repentance, right? And so that's really what our film is about, is not just the hero moment, it's the living out of the day-to-day walk when things are tough, when it's like, oh my goodness, how did I get here? What's going on, God? Can I hear you anymore? Yeah.
Okay, where can people see it or find out about it or follow you? Or is there anywhere they can do that?
Yes, you can follow us. If you, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, a little bit on TikTok, though we're not great at TikTok.
We're not either. We're not even on it.
Presence Creative Arts.
Presence Creative Arts.
Yep.
Presence Creative Arts.
That's also the name of our website. If you go to YouTube or any of the ones, that's our handle, presencecreativearts.com.
Okay. Well, we will look to see these exciting things.
Thank you.
And I want to take a look after we get off the air and see what it looks like.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hi. Okay, with me are 2 gentlemen. They're part of the Brothers group, the Wild Brothers. Now, I had a chance to interview them. It's been 2 years ago.
That's right.
Okay, when they were first pitching their first, with what they were doing, and I think it was kind of a documentary kind of style or a series. It was a series, right?
A reality TV series.
A reality TV series on your adventures and what you'd gone through with your family as minister. Okay, so they're out in the hall. They're getting ready to pitch, and I'm like, you guys have to talk to Lure TV. So I grabbed them. We went in there. The Lure TV guys happened to have a booth free. No one was talking to him. Threw them over there and said, talk to them. And it was funny. I'm saying this because out of that quick meeting, they got on Lure TV, didn't you?
We did.
And where to go from there?
Yeah, we funded one of our series through them, and it was really fun. One of our kind of YouTube lifestyle vlogs from living over in Indonesia as missionary kids. So it was a great relationship. Yeah, it was super fun working with them.
And that's the kind of thing that happens here at ICVM. That's why I'm telling that story, because it was just one of those, come in, you got to meet so-and-so. And they went in and met, and then the deal was made. And I mean, it's fun to see that.
Yeah, so fun.
And NRB, that may be an NRB even. I don't know, you guys. So what are you working on now?
Yeah, so now we're working on an animated series actually based on my brothers and I's adventures growing up as missionary kids in the jungle. So it's called Wild Bros. It's kind of in the same genre as Wild Kratts, full of outdoor creation and wildlife, but mostly teaching kids about the Great Commission and just the needs for the Biblelists all across the world.
Now, where can people see what you're doing and watch it for their kids?
Yeah, actually the pilot episode is actually live right now on Wild Brothers TV. So Wild Brothers TV is our app. It's a streaming service. It's on TV apps, it's on mobile apps, and people can go there, sign up for a monthly subscription, and can actually see the pilot episode right now, as well as all of our other content, reality TV documentaries, all focused around Great Commission entertainment.
Now, you said this one's an animated series, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, why did you decide to do animated and not, more of your adventures? What was that?
Well, we're really looking at reaching kind of our peers and really inspiring and mobilizing them to live all out for Christ and live for Christ, not self. And so that starts at influencing kids at a young age. And so our research kind of led us that animation is definitely reaching a wider demographic. And so we wanted to diversify our content from documentary and reality TV to animation. So definitely a new endeavor.
And even at our age, we love watching animation stuff. So residents with us at our age, we're also a younger demographic.
Okay, so again, where can people watch? Well, because you guys have done several things. I wanted to go see that series that you did because it was your experiences as missionaries missionary kids. I mean, and it was in a foreign country, so it's a very different kind of series, right?
Absolutely, yeah. WildBrothers.tv. We have over 200 titles. Much of that is original content where, we're over international filming, deep in the jungles, finding new creatures to science, dabbling in archaeology, tracking down cryptic creatures. We built a giant 60-foot double canoe to sail back to America in. So tons of real adventure, real discovery.
And what's amazing about Wild Brothers TV as well is that it's not just a subscription, it's actually a membership. So there's a whole community on Wild Brothers TV and actually a safe chat feature where families can post about their adventures out in creation, connect with other families who are adventuring, and even a way for you guys to upload your own adventure content after it's been vetted by us onto the channel for other families to enjoy.
A safe alternative to YouTube.
Yeah, so it's a really cool platform and it really engages all sorts of families. It's an amazing community and we've been super encouraged by the community that's growing on there. And lots of original new entertainment that really no one else has seen. It's really fun and exciting, like my brother's saying, but also focused on the Great Commission, which is a really cool aspect of our Christian walk.
And what's super fun is we get to connect with our whole community on a weekly basis and offer even weekly, what we call challenges, where we have our community watch a video and then go outside and replicate some kind of really cool challenges. There's awards associated with that. So a very integrated community where we're all kind of connecting and just
going on
fun
adventures together. Yeah.
I know it's for all audiences, but it's great for homeschool because homeschool kids can be inspired to do their own films and their own things from this, I bet.
Exactly.
For sure. We have lots of homeschooling families on there, so that's really fun.
We grew up homeschooling and we love to reach that audience.
That's why I mentioned that because and my daughter-in-law is homeschooling two little ones. My oldest homeschooled her three, which the one just graduated from high school, so they've gone all the way through it. And you've seen the difference in their lives being homeschooled, the adventures that they've been on, the travel that they've done. It is different, but it's so much fun to see that. And you guys played it out in film, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting. Thank you for. I feel like I'm looking up, whereas I'm sure last time I was going like this. I want to go back and find Isaac, the old film, that we did. And I want to see the height difference and the look difference. Thank you, guys. Are you married or girlfriends now, or where are you in life?
Yeah, I'm married. I have one son. Kean's engaged, soon to be married.
This is so exciting to see. From the time when you were a boy, just going, okay, what can we? It's amazing.
A lot's happened.
How old's your son?
14 months.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining me.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. The Wild Boys. This is a special guest to me. This is very special. He's a dear friend, and he gave me a chance to be a producer on a movie called The Frontier Boys, which was a phenomenal experience, and it was an amazing story. And honestly, are you going to be like, 10 to 20 years?
The Frontier Boys?
Yeah.
Came out in 2011, so I don't want to do math.
I thought it was 5. I thought it was 5. Okay.
We're not that old.
Okay, not that old. Okay, but I think there should be some kind of like at 10 or 20. It should be released, because honestly, it's such a good movie for today.
The Frontier Boys,
Where can people find it? Tell people, because it's with teens and kids today. It's such a good story.
Yeah, where can they find it? I don't know. Maybe it's on Amazon. I don't know.
Is it on Amazon? We'll have to look.
Frontier Boys, but she's not only a producer, she had a cameo appearance in the movie. So watch for that.
Yeah, and then Rebecca St. James. So for those of you who like King and Country, their older sister Rebecca St. James, and Big Kenny from Big and Rich was in it.
Yeah.
Earthquake Kelly, who just passed last year, he was in it. I mean, it's a good cast, you guys, and it's amazing. And his son was in it. So anyway, okay, John Gruters. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to say, but let's talk also about the project you're doing now.
Well,
because this is amazing about George Washington.
There's a film coming out in the summer of 2025.
Okay.
From producer-director Tim Mahoney, who's been a long-time friend of mine.
Yes.
And sort of a spiritual brother to me is Tim. And he called me about a year ago and asked if I would screenwrite for him. And I love to write and direct, and usually I do both at the same time.
Yes.
In this case, I was just asked to write, and the project was to take a book by Michael Medved. And I've read others of Michael Medved's books and always admired Michael. So Tim asked if I would adapt into a screenplay Michael Medved's book called The American Miracle. And I have just recently been developing a whole host of projects under a studio that I've started called America Studios. So I was already invested and interested in American history. And I've been reading the boatloads of books and studying it. So I said, Tim, I'm all in on this if I can help you. So we took Michael's book, adapted it into a screenplay. I handed it to Tim. And it's based on this crazy idea that America is not an accident.
Yes.
And I was just thinking about it because we just watched the trailer in the section 20 minutes ago.
Powerful.
That good things in this world are not inevitable. It is not inevitable that we won't all live under tyranny. There have been many times in world history where the whole world was under the thumb of tyrants, whether communism as a tyrant or fascism as a tyrant or the king as a tyrant. We've been living our whole lives in a country that's completely based on a different principle, but it didn't have to be that way. And there's been story after story where America was preserved by a hair's breadth.
Yes.
And we don't talk about it, we don't celebrate it. We look closely at our flaws, and there are flaws in everything.
Yes.
But Michael Medved, a practicing Jew, put together a book where he looked at this situation to this situation, and he came to the conclusion that the most logical conclusion of the formation and preservation of America was the hand of God. The hand of providence, as they would have called it.
Yes.
And that you had to have a bigger leap of faith to consider this was a series of coincidences than if you looked at pattern after pattern after pattern. So that kind of fit right into Tim Mahoney's patterns of evidence kind of mind. So he's put together a docudrama where he talks to experts from Yale and Harvard and Oxford, all these other places, and then he kind of connects that with these dramatic intervals. And anyway, I was just privileged to be the screener.
First of all, too, funny little trivia fact. Years ago, Michael Medved was on Salem Radio, and I was on KKLA Radio, and I used to go to his house for Shabbat.
Really?
And I would take my kids and go several times. I loved his wife and those kids, and my kids were about the same age as his kids. And we would go there and celebrate Shabbat, and literally in Santa Monica, and have the whole thing. His wife makes the best bread ever. And I love Michael, and I used to love, we did several speaking events together and stuff too. So I love that he's doing this project. I love that it's come full circle, because he's such a patriot and he loves this country. So, and congratulations, that's awesome. You got to write and be part of this project. It's as the 250, which I just learned in the presentation, it'll be 250 years, folks. Okay, we're going to be celebrating 2026, 250 years. George Washington will be featured. It'll be a big thing. So we've got to get this spirit of patriotism revived again in this country. It's there's remnant, but it takes more. And this is going to be powerful. This is the next summer, right?
Yeah,
That's
next
coming out?
June or July, they're talking about the release, The American Miracle.
Yes.
And I agree with you. As we look at 250 years, man, it's time to re-examine how did we get here?
Yes.
What's worth preserving?
Yes.
And maybe there might be things that need to be re-examined, but so much, in my opinion, of the foundational documents of this country, they were radically groundbreaking in their day. And they didn't come for free, and they didn't come... People had to put their lives on the line.
That's right. That's right.
And I just appreciate it and love remembering them and telling about them, both in American Miracle and a whole bunch of other projects that we're developing. Yeah.
Okay, what's the name of your company? You said that you're doing
AmericaStudios.com.
Studios.com.
America Studios. Yeah.
So okay, you can go find you AmericaStudios.com and find out what the projects you're working on.
Absolutely.
He's out of Holland, Michigan.
Holland, Michigan.
Yeah. Fun fact: my daughter and son-in-law and family live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So it's a beautiful area, folks. If you haven't gone up there, and watch the Frontier Boys, because you'll see Michigan, because it was filmed on different Northern Michigan.
Yeah, God's
so you get
country.
to see God's country and all the fun places that we filmed. Thanks so much, John, for being
Holly,
here.
thanks for having
What a
me.
privilege and a pleasure to interview you.
Let's do this again.
All right, we'll do it again. Tell everyone about the movie project that's coming out, that they can make sure and see this next summer.
Okay, well, there's two movies, by the way.
Okay. Yes, that's right. There are.
Yes. Should I talk about that one
Yes,
first?
please. Let's
okay,
do.
Well, there's one called Patterns of Evidence,
Yes.
The Israel Dilemma, and that's coming in theaters in November. And if you go to patternsofevidence.com, you can see it. You can go to it and get tickets. And that's really about when this big event has happened here in the last year in Israel.
Yes.
With October 7th and all this. We had interviews, and we knew we had material, and we decided that this was the time to really ask the question, why is this happening? What's this tension here? Because Israel and the surrounding nations have been at battle since the beginning, since 1948.
Yes.
So we go back and look at the Israel Dilemma, looks at that question, and we go all the way back to creation, and we tell the story. And so this is the first of two films, and it's going to be in theaters. If you go to patternsofevidence.com, you can learn more about it.
And this wasn't an easy film to make, was it? Or to do the research, or to get things. I mean, you went through a journey making it.
Yes. In fact, a lot of these films are our journey to to investigate, to get the archaeology, and to make it so that it's entertaining. We're trying to make docudrama.
Yes.
And we're trying to make dramatic information or information dramatic.
Yes,
so,
yes.
as it were.
Yes.
So that people can take it in.
Yes. And you interviewed Netanyahu, so
Yes,
I
we
mean,
had,
this is phenomenal.
Unusual interviews with Benjamin Netanyahu and Shimon Peres and top scholars, and we show you the evidence for the Bible. We do recreations. We do the story of Hezekiah, King Hezekiah, and so that is a really powerful film. And then we got another film coming out at the same time called The American Miracle.
I'm so excited for this film. I am so excited. The American Miracle, because why is it called that?
Well,
because
the founding of America had miracles that people would look at and they would say there are miracles that have happened, and so that's what this film is really about. And you can go to AmericanMiracleMovie.com to sign up for that and to learn more and get updates. So,
and it's the journey, but it tells the backstory, right?
Right. We're going to be telling the story of George Washington as a young man. We also tell the miraculous times when he was saved. He was protected from danger, and how the nation then was able to escape the British many times miraculously through storms. And then we're going to tell about the Constitution. A lot of people don't really understand how this happened. And we've got some amazing stories. We have Nicole C. Mullen, and she's playing Mumbet Freeman. It's the true story of really the beginning of the abolition movement in America, and it happened right during the Revolutionary War.
Did she sing on set for you?
She didn't sing on set. But she sings in the movie.
Does she sing in the movie? Oh, yes. I love that. I love that.
Technically in the credits.
Well, also, interestingly enough, it was written by Michael Medved.
Right. The book was written by Michael Medved. It's from his New York Times best-selling book. And so he contacted me and said, "Could you help me?" And I thought, boy, this is a big project to do recreation. So we had about 80 actors and about 300 to 400 extras, and a lot of battle scenes and the crossing of the Delaware, and so.
He's an old friend of mine because he was on Salem Radio and I was doing KKLA in Los Angeles, which is Salem.
Yes.
And I used to go to his house for Shabbat with his family, and I'd take my 3 kids and we would go to his home in Santa Monica, and several times, and he would gather around the table. He had 12 or 13 people, and different people that were believers and not believers. It was always an interesting time to go, and I love Michael. We spoke several times. So I'm so proud and excited to see that he did this project and that you did it for him.
Yes.
And it's going to be a beautiful film. And I just found out something interesting as you were presenting it. America will be 250 years old in 2 years, 2026.
2026, yeah.
So, I mean, this is a great time to celebrate this story, our patriotism, our founding fathers, George Washington. This is great, right?
It is, and it's an important time for people to know this. I'm talking about understanding really our history, and I think a lot of people today are not as educated about why our nation is the way it is. And so I think this film is, I call it the American Miracle Challenge. I think if you don't know how we got our freedom, it's very possible that you could lose your freedom. And that's why this film is so important, is it's going to really help to show you what's at stake and how it all came to be.
Thank you for spending time and sharing with us. And everyone, you've got to go see this film. Where can they look on a website to go follow it?
Yeah, AmericanMiracleMovie.com. AmericanMiracleMovie.com. You can sign up, and we'll give you updates on a regular basis.
It's exciting. Thanks again. God bless you for the project and all you do.
Thank you, Holly.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.